Well, we're back! Part 2 of our Dark Souls Mega Dungeon project. I didn't forget, but Kraken Week threw a spanner in the works, and now I'm working on another dungeon. But hey, that was a lot of fun to do. Check out that video and all the other Kraken Week ones on the playlist if you missed that. Lots of fun water-themed stuff for TTRPGs. A couple of things have changed since we last did this. For a start, if you're that invested, I'm still on Dark Souls 3 Cell Level 1. I've got a few bosses there, but I have beaten Lies of P, eventually. That was a tough boss for me to deal with, but I got there in the end. And I have not bought the DLC yet because I don't have enough time to play enough Elden Ring to even get there. So that's what kind of time frame we're working on. But again, I digress. I've changed up the format a bit. Before, I was saying things in the recording of the gameplay and then basically repeating myself. So it's all just going to be within the gameplay this time, which should hopefully streamline things a bit. We're also going to move forward into the next area, which is Firelink Shrine. Rather than filling in the asylum, we're going to do a few areas and then start to fill things in so that there's more of an interconnectiveness about them rather than everything feeling very much like its own separate part, because a dungeon should be connected. So Firelink Shrine, the place that we got dropped last time, this will be a smaller area that the party will return to at various points down the line. It's kind of like a sort of hub. It connects to a variety of areas right off the bat, though some of them might need tools or keys or things to get into, and some of them may be more difficult to conquer immediately than others. Skeletons. So, anyway, let's get going and have a look at what's in store. Well, in classic fashion, apparently for this series, I did not record the audio, or I thought I'd changed the audio to be using the right microphone, and did not, so there we are. So I'm re-recording it now, watching what I was doing before, and trying to figure out how this is all going to fit together. We already leveled up, as you can see, for the Dark Souls gameplay element. But yes, Firelink Shrine. We've got the well over here. This isn't used in the game, however, this would be a great, drop-down point where players can throw down a rope or something to get to the next level faster, so that they've got that option if they want. More dangerous, but, they could do it. We've got the stairs over there, which will be the quintessential first location to go. But whether that's the first one they decide to go on is another matter entirely, because it's certainly not when I first played Dark Souls the first way I went. We might utilise this little corridor here for some loot or something like that. Hard to say at this time. Not exactly sure what we're going to do with loot and so on. If we're going to treat it just like a video game or not. Up here will be another shortcut for later. Petrus of Tharaland, obviously. Who's here? Cheeky guy that he is. So up these stairs we will have the similar kind of lift, though it will probably go down rather than up. But we'll see. Again, we've got another staircase up here, which has more loot. How much these things will be utilised, these additional levels, I'm not sure. Likewise, this drop down here, probably not going to use. It's not really necessary to the kind of main directions that people can go, and trying to do all those kind of things on a map so make it understandable can be quite tricky. We're going to go around here though because there's useful stuff, especially that Morning Star. I might use that in this build instead of a sword. Do a Morning Star and shield Night Run. That could be fun, I think. So we're going to go with that. It's got bleed on it and a slightly higher physical damage. Got a little bit more scaling, which that's always cool. It's not one I've really used much before, I don't think. So make it a bit different. But that's irrelevant to our dungeon building process. Spin around here, but yeah, again, all this stuff is like a little extra area just for getting some items. We're not going to worry about it too much. Down here, however, is going to be obviously an area. This walkthrough to the skeletons' catacombs. Yeah, so this is going to be a way to go, and it is going to be dangerous because damn, those skeletons are dangerous in early games. So it'll be interesting to see how I can utilize making skeletons scary, because traditionally they are not. So we'll have to see how that goes. We'll rest here, however, just to respawn them so we don't have to deal with them quite just yet. And then we will head the final couple of bits in Firelink Shrine. Large body of water there, which will lead to a late game area that's not going to open yet. So is that going to be some kind of place where we have, you know, some kind of item that they have to find lower in the dungeon, or a key or something that they can lock in here? Probably something serpent related, if you know you know. This bit around here, I just nearly ran off, is just a big drop. And there's the raven, the crow. We've got another running a bit up here. Again, catacombs down there, lots of tombstones. Around here, again, this is another elevation bit that we're probably not really going to put in on maps. Like, if, you know, a combat encounter were to occur, we can maybe make a note that there is a way up here. Maybe we'll do that, but we're not gonna do that by itself because it's not really worth it. There's no point. It's just going to add to the confusion. Got the Crestfallen Knight down over here. We are going to skip through his stuff a bit again. So if you want to hear what he said, he's just pretty sad, is his deal. But he gives you some vague information about where to go, which, you know, we might have in the dungeon. Maybe another NPC kind of like him, maybe something else. Firekeeper, of course. Again, they play quite an important part mid-game if you free a certain NPC. Or don't play, I suppose. As the case may be. I'm not sure what we're doing with the Estus and the bonfires and everything still, though. And then we have another lift, which descends, which we're not going to do right now, but that takes us to another 2 areas. 3 areas, kind of. There's a lot of areas that split off from the bottom of this lift, if you've got the right items. But that's Firelink Shrine. Pretty much, that is the area. So let's have a look at what we've done with it for the map. So you can see our build process here, starting with that main location where we have the bonfire, the stairs leading down to where the firekeeper is, and the area with the well over there. Moving on from that, we have, well, we've changed the style to match the previous one, and these are the stairs that will lead us up to the Undead Burg, or similar, whatever we call it, the first proper area. Now we've added the pool with the secret entrance that, you know, we don't know about yet. That's secret. You'll notice that the final product is a little different to this. That area is where we have the loot. This is where Petrus of Firelink is, as well as the route up to where that lift shortcut will be to unlock in the future. Adding in stairs, little bits like that. Lots more stairs, and then this is where the catacombs will end up being. Adding a little bit more to that, and then descending over there. So no, that room actually is where those lootable items will be. There's multiple, clearly, I think. So yeah, the final thing that I drew is here. This is a bit different because I had forgotten to actually add in the lift that brings you to this Firelink Shrine, because obviously it's not truly a crow in this version, so it looks a little bit different. But here you go, this is the finished project for now. Now, if you're wondering, does this thing have a title, like the previous one, which was the Death Cage of Nor? Not yet, but we'll figure that out, we'll get there. Again, I'm trying to add this all together and combine it to make it all a bit more coherent and streamlined, and we've not quite got to that point yet. So next video, we're going to look at combining this area with the previous one, filling these things in. But to be fair, there's not a lot to say here. The party will come down on the elevator over here, which I think is a raven, not a crow actually in hindsight. And then you've got your bonfire here, which again, the mechanics of we're still working out. But it'll be some kind of resting spot. Nice place to have a rest, a sleep. And then when they find people, NPCs in the world, in the dungeon, they can potentially bring them back here. Again, how exactly that works, I'm not sure, because, you know, time is convoluted and everything. That's why everyone could exist in the Dark Souls world. That may not be quite so much the case in this instance. but we'll have to see, I suppose. So yeah, but we've got the well, obviously, which if they investigate, they will discover they can head down to a lower level from, and they've got the stairs over here to the catacombs, which will be a bit of a rude awakening if they try and go that way with some quite dangerous enemies. And then up here, the main way to go, and then also the stairs down here, which will lead to a subsection of the area. I'm not sure if I'm going to map that out, or if that'll be purely narrative to head them to the Firekeeper, whatever that ends up being, and the lift that takes them to the other areas that are down below. But those are all projects for another time. So I know a very simple, very basic one here. I have got the next parts recorded. I just need to make the associated maps and work that stuff out. But next time, hopefully, we will work on actually filling in the asylum and working on how these things are going to combine together from a lore perspective, because I do want there to be some, story here, and it not just to be entirely dungeon crawl for the sake of dungeon crawl, as fun as that already is by itself. But I want to use these parts and bits and pieces that we've got here to make something with some interesting story to try and follow, if I can. But that is all for now. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting, and look forward to the next one, hopefully in shorter order than it took for me to get this one out from the last one. In the meantime, I have got more world building things to watch, or listen to, take ideas from. They're a bit more of a slow burn, easy editing, but cool to record, for me at the very least to have some references of in the future. And also my weekend one-shot series, I should have one on very shortly out, about One Honk Before Midnight, a game that's kind of like the Untitled Goose Game, where you're geese getting up to all kinds of antics. And the next month should be Death in Space, which is silly space sci-fi stuff that's got potentially very high lethality, and pretty simple system. Both have simple systems, in fact. So look out for those. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.